Hello, I'm John, and I do the smokeless powder guns on this channel. And I just bought myself a brand spanking new Rossi lever action 357 Magnum. And I think it's first time I bought a new gun in like almost 25 years. I bought a lot of guns, but they're been old. But of course, this isn't exactly a modern gun either. It's a reproduction of the Winchester model 1892. And I used to have one more than 20 years ago, and it was a little different, but a lot of it was the same. But I have to say the Rossi come a long way since then, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But first, I think we got to put a few rounds through it. These are just 38 specials. There we go. This thing kicks out the empty brass like nothing I ever seen. And I missed. Okay, I'll look for them later. Okay, so there's a lot of reviews on these Rossi Puma 92 lever actions on YouTube. I'm not sure if I really have much to add, but let's talk a little bit about how this is different from the one I had more than 20 years ago. Well, first of all, I'm glad they got rid of that awful Puma head medallion that they had on the side of the receiver. It looked awful. And other than that, the one that I had years ago was really kind of a project gun from the factory. I had to take it apart and kind of polish the parts. You even had to use some really fine sandpaper on them. They were really rough. I've never seen a gun as rough as that old Rossi on the inside. But this one, I haven't had it apart and had a look, but it's really smooth. And so I'm really impressed with that. And I remember that old one I had, the edges in this lever loop, the edges were sharp and they dig into your hand, and I had to smooth them out and do some rebluing. I don't have to do that on this one. And the one I had was a 16-inch carbine with a round barrel, and it had a carbine ring, This one is a 24-inch rifle with an octagon barrel. It doesn't have the carbine ring, and kind of like the front sight. It's got a brass bead on it. Works reasonably well. It's got a buckhorn rear sight. I think I'm gonna open that up a little bit to the sides, because those parts that stick up to the sides, they're awful thick and they kind of block your view. So a small round file there should improve that. And one thing that's changed since the one I had is this: the lawyers made it to Brazil, and so we got this lawyer type safety on here. And of course this gun has got a half cock, and I'm old school, so that's all I need. But they have this pinfire blocking safety here, little flimsy thing here. And I've seen on the internet that people hate these and take them off and put a piece in there that just fills the hole. You can even get a peep sight that fits in there. I think I'll just leave it at the way it is. Doesn't bother me that much. If you've been out hunting, you come home, and you got a bunch of rounds in your magazine, you need to empty those out. The only way to do that is working the action and using that safety in when you're doing that. It makes it safer, of course. So I think I'll just leave it there, but it doesn't really belong there. But so, and finish is reasonably well. It's got a sharp burr here. You won't be able to see it, but I can feel it with my fingers, so I'm going to deal with that. It's got a very black bluing, if that makes sense to you. And they say on their website that this is German beech, this wood. And a lot of the other guns I've seen on YouTube and things like that, they have lighter colored wood, so I think I was pretty lucky with the wood on this one. Light is a little difficult here, but so just had to wear my cowboy hat today. I had this hat for more than 4 years. I bought this in August in 1983 at Utex Bootery in Bowman, North Dakota, where I spent a couple of years of my youth. So feels good to wear that again. So I guess I'd recommend, if you're thinking of buying something like this, I would recommend it. You see right there above the end of the barrel, that's my cabin right there, and I got this shooting range here. I'm shooting at 45 yards, and that was a kind of a head size steel gong that I was shooting at. And it gets kind of boring to just shoot 22 long rifle every time I'm up here, so it's nice to have something a little more powerful. But I have a lot of rifles in 6.5 by 55, but it's really a bit too much on a 45 yard shooting range, so this kind of fills a gap for me. And also, if you want to do hunting with it, I done that with that other one I had years ago. I shot a deer And deer over here in Norway, they're kind of small, and yeah, I think they call them roe deer. Kind of small, but I shot one of them with the old Rossi, and that was also 357 Magnum, and it went down no problem at all. And a buddy of mine was shooting a Swedish Mauser, and he was quite impressed with it. He was kind of making fun of me and my toy gun, but he seen the wound channel in that deer. He was quite impressed. So up to smaller deer for reasonably short ranges, I shot that deer at 60 yards, I think, and that's probably as far as I want to shoot, but I suppose could push it to closer to 100 yards if you're really good at what you're doing. I guess I'm running out of things to say here, but hope you enjoy my brand spanking new cowboy rifle. And I'll see you later.